Hey everybody, this is Andrew Lee coming at you with another video. I haven't done one of these in a while for our California Insurance Agents group. Today I do have a guest that I do uh, appreciate being on just because, man, th this guy's story needs to be heard. And this is Oscar Meraz. He's the number one Humana producer in California and have been a top producer for SCAN for the years prior to that. So I felt like, man, if you guys don't know him, this would be a good one to listen into. So, Oscar, thanks for joining me on a Monday after the daylight savings adjustment and everybody just going a little crazy right now. How's everything with you?
Everything's good. Thanks for having me, Andrew. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No, this I had to get you on because I knew this was going to be a good one. I know we were sort of chatting, and I was just like, man, why don't people know about Oscar's story, right? And how he became a top producer and a damn good agent, right? So we'll just unpack that, sort of encourage people on the mentality of what you do. Like, is it so easy? Do you make it look easy, right? And then just having some conversation about that. So, Oscar, like, how did you get started in this industry and Medicare?
Sure. Well, I started right out of high school in 1997. I'm dating myself now. So, started working at a general agency that handled employer group sponsored coverage. So they would work with brokers, and I was just basically admin. Started from the bottom, from receptionist to filing to supply coordinator. Then they trusted me into doing quotes, and so just kind of worked my way up from the bottom throughout college, and I kind of it piqued my interest. Once I got a sales position, which was a broker sales position over at Benefit Mall, currently known as CRC Benefits. I noticed that I was, making decent money for my age, and then they added commission on top of that based on sales. So it really just, drove me to continue in this industry. So it's been a long time, and I've gone through different positions with different carriers and so on and so forth. But luckily, I'm happy to say that I've been in business on my own now independently for about 14 years, and things are well.
Wow, yeah. So here's what I take from top producers, right? Just from all the top producers I've talked to. Top producers always start off somewhere in the insurance space. It's a little tougher for newer agents that are just coming in and be like, I'm going to be an insurance agent. It's like, well, there's sort of levels to this, right? You work your way up from working at a shop, learning the ins and outs, then slowly moving on from customer service to quoting, right? Their essential, in-house underwriting, let's call it, and then going on to sales, and then knowing how to scale. Like I feel like everybody that has been a top producer that I've met and talked to have that same background. What led you to becoming an independent producer after that? I know that you're making decent money. You can see how much money was made, but what was the shift and how did you start, generating leads and getting into that business owner mentality?
Sure. Well, I think, based on the fact that I started in the Medicare space working for Health Net as a territory manager for a couple of years there, I really I did so well that I knew that I had found my niche in this industry. So I did it for 2 years, working for Health Net, I mean. And once I decided to, literally I was single, didn't have a family, decided to jump ship and go full force during AEP. And I built up a decent book of business by doing mailers. So back then there wasn't as much competition as there is now, and just doing simple mailers, marketing, really panned out for me. I was setting up in-home appointments, um, filling up my entire week with appointments, and I just went ham. I was working 7 days a week. nonstop, just building my book of business. And it, it got to the point where I realized, okay, I was super busy during AP, but after AP was over, I started hearing crickets. I couldn't get any phone calls coming in. So I kind of went, okay, what do I do now? I kind of panicked a little bit. I put my resume up on monster.com, and I got a phone call from a general agency that also handles commercial group health called Word and Brown. And I got hired on as their regional sales manager. I was the youngest, I think, regional sales manager they had ever hired. And I did super well for 2 years. I worked at Ward and Brown, but of course, it always kind of called me back to going into business on my own. My father is a business owner of himself, and I learned a lot from him, his work ethic, and I knew that eventually, at some point, I would become my own boss again. So I jumped ship right before AEP after 2 years of being with Ward Brown, and I've just been going full force ever since.
Man. So a couple things to unpack there. So uh, you became a business owner twice, essentially. So
Right.
um,
It's not easy to just jump ship and create your own business from scratch. A lot of people don't realize there's some challenges there, and there's growing pains, but also, it's not a get rich quick scheme when it comes to Medicare. You really have to grind. You really have to persevere. Um, and I think that's why I basically took a step back, went back into the job force, got a job for 2 years, which I'm super grateful for because it made me hone my skills on the commercial side. And to this day, I mean, because of that, I'm not only handling Medicare, I handle commercial accounts as well. So I have a pretty decent book of business on the commercial side as
I know
well.
you do. I know you do. And again, that's the reason why you're on. But the other thing I wanted to unpack is so people who somebody in the group posted this, and I think it was a newer agent. And they were asking to the extent of how do you, get going, right? And my answer was you either start off at a call center or like a shop, learn the ins and outs, or you work for a carrier, right? And learn the ins and outs that way. And most of the top producers or, general agents or, now FMO owners, I've noticed that they have one of those two characteristics. You're telling me you have both, right? So you worked at a shop and also you were a territory manager for a carrier, a couple carriers. So that is, I'm putting the two together, right? Like what really creates a successful Medicare agent or a successful group health agent or a successful ACA agent. I started off at a call center. I know we were chatting about this, and I learned all their wins. I learned all their losses, right? I was laid off from that company because they ultimately were eaten up by chargebacks from
Hmm.
marketing that they couldn't recoup. So, but I learned how to sell like a damn monster, right? And so there were good things and bad things, and how the operation ran, who were the managers, like what were the actual positions, who does what, how to delegate, things like that, and then just how to easily sell. And the marketing part, of course, they didn't completely figure out, or else they would still be around. But again, I told myself I would not be like them. That was my number one incentive. And from there, I just grew up, right? Just stayed in this industry for a while. And yeah, a lot of the people that are carrier ex-carrier reps, man, they go on and become successful agencies themselves. For the new agent out there that are like, oh, I don't have either one of those. I mean, the likelihood of them becoming a successful agent is 1 out of 10, just to be
Right.
straight up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, I've seen some successful Medicare agents start off at final expense, really grind it out, sell cars before, have some kind of sales knowledge from before, ha like hit their lows at their own respective lows from before, and now came to conclusion that I'm gonna go all in on this and make it work. What's your philosophy on that?
I think working for a large employer like a carrier or just feeling like maybe like a peg in a big wheel, if you will, that doesn't necessarily lend itself to success as being an independent broker. I think what does is the folks that grow from the bottom up. So in my case, I was also working for a call center at a call center for about 2 years, doing premium financing for commercial insurance policies and individual property and casualty type policies. And that's where I kind of honed in my skills on the phone. So that's super important. Being able to talk to people over the phone, gaining their trust is essential if you want to be a successful salesperson. I mean, if you can charm somebody over the phone and gain their trust over the phone, in person, you're sealing the deal at that point. So, you know, really from just learning from the bottom up is essential to be a successful, you know, agent and insurance broker. Also, building relationships. This is at the end of the day, this is a relationship business. So it's all about who you communicate with. So you form these centers of influence as time goes on and your career progresses. You start forming, and it's almost like random how it happens. You just keep in contact with various people in your circles, and they become your resource for referrals. So whether it be, I mean, a hair salon, or somebody, that you've met at, church. I mean, family members, your own parents, for example. I mean, my one of my best sources for referrals are my parents because they have so many friends and they're all turning 65. So, it's just creating those relationships and maintaining that level of trust with people. Your reputation is key. And as long as you do something well for someone and they're happy with what you've been able to obtain for them, they'll continue to refer their friends, their family members. They'll think of you. And really going the extra mile for your clients makes a huge difference. I can't tell you the number of brokers that have spoken to people that are turning 65 and they say, okay, well, you go ahead and handle, for example, applying for Medicare. You contact Social Security, you figure it out on your own and pretty much let them at their own peril to figure it out. Not with me. I've helped every single one of my clients from A through Z, from applying to Medicare, from applying to Social Security, educating them on when they can apply for Social Security if they're still working. All these different nuances and details that come into play for a Medicare recipient that nobody tells them. There's no playbook, there's no instruction manual on what to do. So if you can be that educator, if you can be their advocate, that you have a client for life at that point.
Absolutely. And yeah, speaking of which, you've crushed it in the grassroots field. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen it. I mean, there's people spending tons of money out there. There's people throwing all kinds of mud at the wall, trying to see what sticks. I mean, you really crushed it in the grassroots field. And you would not attest this to overnight success, like you were saying, right? This has been 14
Right.
years in the making and going in and out of, situations that you've been in. What is a consistent mentality when it comes to grassroots for you? And then I know you have, I know what you do, but what is like a good mindset for agents to have, especially for those that didn't have the experience? Again, you're going to be one leg behind. Unfortunately, that is just what it is. I mean, again, now I'm talking in statistics at this point because I did my research on top producers, right? I did my research. It's just so much harder if you don't have that experience. But what is the mindset going in? to all of this and the way that you execute every day?
Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of rejection. Just put yourself out there. Meet as many people as you possibly can, whether it's a doctor's office. In my case, I was literally canvassing doctor's offices when I first got my start. I would canvass CPA offices just to try to build relationships. And most of the people that I met with, I never heard from them ever again, never communicated. But just the fact that you would put yourself out there makes a huge difference. And for you to feel comfortable in your own skin, to walk up to anyone, um, no matter who they are, what level they are, and just be able to be comfortable with your own skin and pitch your services. Um, so really just having that confidence within you that you're going to be successful. You know you're going to be successful. It's just a matter of time, but just really putting in that effort and putting yourself out there. I can't tell you the number of brokers that I've seen that think they're going to be successful, but all they're doing is staying at home, not doing anything. You're not going to make any money staying at home. You got to get yourself out there. Go out there, meet, knock on doors, whether it's a doctor's office, whether it's a dentist. This year I picked up so much business just from dental offices. And they referred me some of their patients, and I bought the entire office lunch. And just like that, they're a huge referral source for me. A dental office, you wouldn't think, right? But um, it's really just keeping that positive attitude and just you got to grind. You got to really, really grind. If you're doing leads, if you're doing those marketing leads, the mailers, make sure you make the phone calls. So they used to call it dialing for dollars. So you make those phone calls. You've made that investment into those marketing. The least you could do is follow through and call every single one of those folks. Um, so yeah, combined with centers of influence, marketing, T65 meetings at your local restaurants, that was one of my main sources of referrals when I first started. So I would host those seminars maybe twice a month, and I would generate quite a bit of business from them. Your own clientele is going to, if you're doing a good job and people are happy with your services, they're an excellent source of referrals for you as well.
You make it seem so simple, right? Because ultimately it is that simple. And I think with this age of AI and just a bunch of these lead companies, and not to say that, they don't do what they're supposed to do, but ultimately people aren't working them. But I mean, the directions are so simple. It's just a lot of people don't take them. So I believe if you're missing any of those steps that you just named right now, if you're missing any of those steps, even if you do everything else, you're not going to be at 100%. And then that's when the doubt starts creeping in. That's when you're like, oh, I'm not made for this industry. Oh, maybe life insurance is going to be a better pivot. Maybe PNC will be, and then guess what? They're in a hamster wheel. It's the same thing over on that line when they transfer over to it. And I've seen this happen to agents time and time, and I'm not trying to put down agents or anything like that, but it can be that simple. You just follow your playbook and say you're going to do it with confidence, even though if you don't have confidence coming in, you fake it till you make it to a certain extent, right? You fake it till you make it, but still have that confidence that you're going to do a good job, figure it out along the way. And then there you go. All of a sudden, it just starts rolling in 14 years later, right? Not overnight, 14 years later. So I love that breakdown. It's so simple yet so concise, right?
Right.
With finding the success that you have right now, what are some of your next ventures you're looking forward to? I mean, outside of insurance, you're sort of a jack of all trades in terms of real estate and, we were just talking about stocks the other day. Um, what are some things that you're looking forward to, moving forward here? Because I know you're not done at all.
Well, I am recruiting brokers. So under our agency, setup, we are recruiting brokers that are hungry. that have been in the industry for a while, that know the products, that want to grow. So I am recruiting actively, and but also, of course, I do have some real estate investments, and it it's always been a dream for my wife and I to grow, retire, have a retirement plan for, if you will. And so we are actively investing in real estate. I'm actually fixing up a house right now that I'm planning on putting up for rent. So yeah, building that portfolio, and also I have of course dealings with stocks like I discussed with you the other day and stuff. But but yeah, I mean, you definitely want to manage your money well, and and real estate has definitely been my forte. There's other options out there, but that's been kind of my cup of tea.
Yeah. And again, a lot of people are still caught up in the grind of starting an agency and Medicare that they don't have an end goal in mind, right? Or at the very least, other ways of making income. So if you're saying, hey, start off with this, go one thing at a time, and then start looking into other ventures in real estate in Los Angeles County, I mean, let's call it spade a spade. It's rough, right? But here we are talking about it, right?
And
So,
you form these partnerships with people. You form these relationships with. So in my case, I fixed up my first home, and I kept in touch with the same guys that fixed up my first home, and they've been my go-to guys. So I've got a electrician, I've got a plumber, I've got a handyman, I've got a pool guy. It's just all these relationships you just throughout the years, and they're your go-to guys. If you're loyal to them, they'll be loyal to you. So it's kind of neat how that's transpired, and it's all happened organically. It's not, something I called like what is it, the yellow pages or something to look them up or Google search them or something. So it's kind of neat.
yeah, in the age of AI, I would have never thought to even think about the yellow page. Oh man, phone booths and all that, the good old days. But yeah, I mean, again, if you guys have not taken anything from this video, maybe because it was too simple, it really is. Like I can't stress that enough. It's just really hard work, organization, getting out there and making your name known and rinsing and repeating. Like there's really nothing else to it besides, massive scaling, especially in the digital age now and having a bigger audience and, all of that combined, you're a powerhouse, right? So just for the new agents out there, because I know I've been seeing a lot of comments and posts about where to start, how are my leads going? It's just like, just educate yourself on the product that you're selling and sell the crap out of it however you can, right? Till your legs fall off, walking around to these doctors' offices, these dentists, just anybody with a pulse that's going to help you out, right? And then do a great job for them. Simple. Oscar, thank you for your time. It's Monday, and I know you're a grinder. So, what is some parting words for some people out there to just give them some encouragement or letting them know, really just how it's done?
Sure. So I think, getting started in this business, it's become a lot more competitive as of late. So if you need to start by, having this as your side hustle, I think that's perfectly fine. Nowadays, things are inflation and everything, things are so expensive. So you want to keep your full-time job, but then maybe dip into this as a part-time venture until you hone your skills, until you learn the products, until you master the benefits, and slowly but surely start finding your niche, finding your building that those centers of influence like I mentioned. So and don't give up. Just keep grinding, keep grinding. This has been one of the most rewarding jobs that I've ever, that I could have ever hoped for. This career is just phenomenal. It's allowed my family these opportunities that I would have never imagined. So, and the fact that this industry can give us something to retire on, the residual income, I mean, is phenomenal. Just keep a positive attitude, get out there. You're not going to make any money staying at home. You got to get out there and knock on doors, meet with as many doctors as you can, dental offices, senior centers, set up those T65 meetings. Just grind it out. Keep going. That's that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah. And man, again, simple yet effective, right? So guys, Oscar, thanks for being on. I mean, that was good stuff there. And if you guys again hadn't gotten anything out of this conversation, just get your butts up and do something about it because we're all here for a reason. We all got the license for a reason. It's one of the easiest industries to scale in terms of you not having to put too much into it, right? Like someone that's a business owner in a restaurant, good God, you have to get a alcohol license, your the actual property itself, hiring staff, the menu, like you got to do all this. All you need is an E&O, a laptop, your contracts, and a mentor, and you're on your way, right? It's just for you to put in the reps. So, I love this industry as well because it's simplicity, yet it's complexity, but focus on the simplicity and just keep grinding it out. So, Oscar, thanks again for being on. This is a good one. And for everybody out there, please apply yourselves, right? There's nothing you're going to get done if you are just hanging out at home. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you at the next video.